Hey, what is up? My name is Dan McDonald, and I need to ask you a huge favor before we get started today. Can I please just take my time and be myself today? Would that be okay? This is my fourth intro or whatever, and there's this whole huge thing, and all I want to do is share from my heart. I don't want to have to hurry. I want to share knowledge and information that can really help. Now, this isn't for the puritanicals. I've got my new paradigm order. Surprise, surprise. The puritanicals are going to click off now. But if you wait, you're going to hear some amazing stuff today. Not amazing to me, and maybe not amazing to the breatharian, fruitarian, and the perfect people among us, but for the regular people, like my friend Love, who wants to do a detox after traveling around the world. She's back on island. She wants to do a detox. She had never heard of the Core 4 detox, but then I was standing outside doing my little coconut business outside of yoga, and then Hannah came up and she said, oh yeah, well I know you, I did your cleanse, and I healed myself. And then Love was like, what do you mean the cleanse and you healed yourself? And then I said, oh, Love, you've never seen any of my videos with the paradigm, but Love's been watching me for years, but she's never even seen a paradigm video. She didn't know that I had a Core 4 Heal All detox protocol. So Love said, would you show me what's up? And I'm like, yes. And that was about a week ago, and I had to set all this up and go through the whole rigmarole so I could do this. You know what I'm saying? So this video is for Love. This video is for Tony. This video and his family, and this video is for Tariq. I hope nobody minds me mentioning names, but these are all my clients. Love is my #1 juice client, coconuts and juice. I got a little side racket going. And then, Tony, I'm just keeping him filled with faith, because you go to the doctor and it's a nightmare. There's just all they have for everyone. And why? Because doctors don't know anything about health. And I can't say this because everything is tracked and every word is listened to, but health is the K-U-R-E for every D-I-S-ease. When you've left the ease, you're in a dis-ease state. But you know how you get rid of dis-ease within your being? Is you get healthy, you get harmonized, you create coherence. And so this is a detox protocol that I've got all my people on. Now, I have an amazing consulting business. That's what's real. Those are real people that want real answers, that trust me for doing this for 25 years. By the way, the reason why I have no shirt on is because it's 85 degrees, and it's part of my little trademark thing. Otherwise, I was like, should I put a shirt on today? And Lord have mercy, I am glad I don't, because I am already sweating. I am fine sweating without a shirt on. It's hot. It's 85 degrees and humid. I also do this because then you could see, oh, the 52-year-old guy looks decent, and he's not dying, because a lot of my clients, they need to lose weight. A lot of my clients have different disease conditions, and they just got off track. Everybody gets off track. Welcome to being human. What I do is I keep on, if I get off track, which I have, I just get back on the track. I have my little track, my little trip. Everyone's got their little niche. Everyone's got their little track. I don't believe in one size fits all, but I do have a protocol, a lifestyle that can at least get you thinking and moving in the right direction. I got the juice on ice here today. I got my new order from Paradigm, which lasts me about 6, 8, 9 months, depending if I want to, baby it, or if I want to go hard and heavy. Lately I've been babying it for financial purposes, just to be, straight up on the table, hard on the sleeve, I totally dig it. So like if you work with Lou Corona, who is the president of this company and has been doing this for 50 years, he'll blast you with more enzymes than you know what to do with, and it's just coming out of every side, and you've got crap popping out your neck and out of your armpits and flying out your backside. Acid, waste, stink, death. What I tried to do was create a protocol here that was reasonable financially for the average person. A lot of my clients have tons of dough. Some of my clients don't have very much at all. I can dig it. I work with a wide variety of people. I'm somewhere right in the middle of all that. So I totally can understand, and believe me, I had a long, hard run as a young man that just was out of the house by 16, and had a lot of stuff to do to get to this point in life. So I can totally dig it. I relate to everyone. I'm not here for the negativity. I'm not here for the judgment. I don't have all the answers. I've just been, I had to dig myself out of hell, the hell of addiction, which then you see all this ties into that. Okay, so that's my little intro. I'm warmed up now. I asked you nicely. I don't want to hurry. I want to chill. Like I'm chilling with a friend. I'd rather have 10 people that respect this and want to learn and be entertained a little bit too, because we'll get funny. I had to take like 6 takes, and someone called, and I airplane mode, and then I have this thing where you have to hurry so fast on social media because everybody wants their dopamine 10 seconds ago. But I'm not that way. I don't scroll through social media. That's one of the bigger part of the problems for the dopamine. And then you get the dopamine with the sex and the masturbation and the porn, and then the dopamine with the scrolling, and the dopamine with the food, and the dopamine with the drugs. And so it all ties in. What you're trying to do is clear all that away, clear away the noise. I hope that you don't consider this noise. I feel like after, juicing every day for 33 years, enzymes for 29 years, my daughter's 28. I met my ex-wife, one of our first dates. I said, "What's that on the counter?" She said, "Those are the enzymes, and I'm gonna do that cleanse one day." And I was like, well, I'm gonna do it now kind of dude. So I just grabbed those bottles off the shelf and I said, we're starting that right now. And that's when I started enzymes 27 years ago. Then I studied the enzyme concept. Then raw foods came about 25 years ago, and the light bulb, I'm talking serious light bulb went off. So at present, in case you're wondering, I'm 100% raw foodist, live foodist. I don't like to title myself or cage myself up in any way. I don't believe in any kind of labels, to be honest with you, really. And I have clients that are carnivores, okay? As strange as that might sound, but I'm cool with people, and I'm here to serve and love, and that's what makes me happy. And the social media is, I don't want to be derogatory, but there are some downsides and there's some upsides. I'm trying to focus on the upsides, helping my friends, sharing, loving people, loving this job, loving connecting with you right now. Those of you that are still here. If you don't catch them in 30 seconds, then it's not some kind of crazy dude doing a backflip and, with a laugh track and 7 monkeys doing a bunch of crazy weird stuff on the internet. No one wants to watch it anymore, But this is real education for the people who need a change in their life, because it sucks to be dealing with all this crap. I don't want to deal with it. I haven't been to a doctor or a hospital in 14 years. I got food poisoning. That was the last time. They almost killed me, and people get upset. How dare you? The doctors are God. And I'm like, not to me, they're not. If they have to sew my arm back on, sure. If I get shot, take the bullet out, sew me up, send me home. I don't want your antibiotics unless it's absolutely necessary, because you're going to load me with too much. You're going to wipe out my microbiome and napalm me, and it's going to take me 2 years to regenerate my microbiome. And thank God the Pyridime that I was able to regenerate my microbiology, okay? And so then I became a little bit of an expert in the microbiome, not just with the food trip, but then you're like, the microbiome is like outside, breathing in the dirt, playing in the dirt, walking in the dirt, connecting to nature. And the microbiome is also stress, And so you're not only talking like decent food, But you're talking about like getting rid of stress. And then a lot of my clients and stuff, there's too much scrolling. They're on there for hours. Or other ones are like drinking, and then they get a diagnosis, and then they're like, they stop drinking. Then they start drinking the cucumber juice or the celery juice or the juices here. We're gonna go over all that. Can I take my time, please? Can I just have fun again like I used to? Now, I used to have 10 minutes only when the YouTube thing started out, so I had to cram it all in so fast, and I couldn't, and that was cool at that time. 10 minutes is all we had on YouTube, and then it went longer, and I'm a long-winded son of a gun, but do you know how much detail there is? A lot. And do you know how much time it's gonna take to share the essence? And yes, everyone does this little thing of like the benefits of juicing, and they do a 7 or 8 or 12-minute video. I wanna give you the whole thing in one masterclass for free, okay? And the sponsor, of course, is Paradigm. You know how this world works. You know, and the negative Nancys, you just ignore them. The Puritans that are so perfect, they're not working with clients that need to regenerate their microbiome, have 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds of waste matter sitting in their colon and all over their body, cellulite, varicose veins everywhere, even in the skinny people. The circulation sucks. And I am Dan, the man with the circulation plan. I want circulation to my brain, to my heart, to my feet, so I don't get all the pains and aches. So that I can, my friend, you know, this is the world that I live in. I'm just gonna wrap, okay? And I'm gonna show you this, I'm gonna teach you this. Sorry, love, if you were in a hurry. I'll do a shorter one later and everyone else. But I went for a 25-mile bike ride yesterday. To me, it was nothing. But my friend was like, oh my God, that's amazing. You should make a video about it. Like, to some people, 25 miles, like me, super healthy, super fit. I get it, I'm thin. Everyone wants the huge muscles, and then you're like, can you put your pants on? And they're like, well, not without my wife's help. So what do? I bench press. Anything else? More bench pressing? Yeah, so what's your bench? So can you climb a flight of stairs? Well, not without breathing hard. What about doing a 10 or 12 mile hike on a hot day? Well, no way, dude. I'd lose my gains. So, you know, people can't even live. So what you have with the Dan McDonald, so he's not huge. He's no Adonis, but he does have energy. He's alive. He has virility. All these blue pills, red pills, these guys, you know, they're like, they can't even get an erection. That's the opposite problem that I have. And that's too much information, but it's a huge thing. And I have these guys that are in their 30s and stuff that have erectile dysfunction at 30, okay? And I'm 52, and I know the secrets is balance and sleep, and we'll get into that too, because there's just a few things I want to go over today, and I'm going to set to myself, if I take 90 minutes, Dan, that's okay. But I got to set the premise with my people that are going to be like, okay, we need this in 30 seconds because I'm Instagram, you know, and it's like, I could never, it just was the internet is just killing my soul because I want to hang out. I'm normally a little bit more, you know, I could, if we got the flow going again, which my life circumstances aren't optimum. I mean, here I am with this thing, but I got the old table out today and I took the Miami and regenerated the heck out of this thing. This is my little table. This is where I'm comfortable, okay? With my little food trip. I'm gonna make some yogurt later to show you the probiotic culturization concept. You think I'm rambling, there's no way I can track this in, and I wanna have fun. So even if there's one person, thank you, Mr. One Person, hopefully it's love still here chilling. But like I said, I'll make more of these videos because this is the Dan McDonald Core 4 Heal All, Heal Your Gut, you know? The company that I'm associated with is a longtime friend of mine, longtime raw fooder, longtime healer. All my best friends use this stuff to great effect. Some of my friends, they'll do the cleanse for 40 days, they'll lose 20, 30 pounds, and then they'll go back to their old lifestyle. What I try to do is encourage everyone, like I do with myself, like, okay, lesson number 1, aim for the highest. Now, in my case, what I say that is, I'm going to the top of the mountain. And at one point, health isn't even gonna matter. But for now, it's part of my service, karma yoga to humanity, that makes it possible for me to continue to just love people and do the best I can with everything that I've been given, you know? And so aim for the highest and all other aims will be met. Now, of course, I'm going to encourage you as a human being to aim for the highest, top of the mountain, 360-degree panoramic view, Christ consciousness, enlightenment, nirvana, samadhi, moksha, whatever you want to call it, where you are, or one great way to put it is just eternal equanimity. No more of the whole, well, this side is right and this side is wrong. And then inside of you, since you're part of the totality, and this is the hugest part of health of all. I mean, I'm starting out lesson number 1. You don't even need lesson number 2 if you get this, unless you want to have a super squeaky clean colon and poop like a racehorse with no constipation. But it's that eternal equanimity where you're not either clinging to concepts, ideas, or desires, and you're not resisting other people's concepts, ideas, desires. You're not resisting their hologram, and you're not clinging to your own cherished notions, which then block up the flow of life. And in the end, that's what's going to lead to health, is the removal of the obstructions. Now, we all get that on a physical level. And then, so everyone's different. Some people like, there's only spiritual obstructions, and then they eat cheeseburgers, and then they die of colon cancer at 47. You know, with a lot of spiritual concepts in their head. The body is one thing, spirit is another. But what I'm trying to say is that just removal of the obstructions, removal of the stress, and all of the consumable crap that just sucks. The alcohol, the weed, the cigarettes, the social media consumption, which constipates your brain. Now, I'm not talking about videos like this where I would recommend, because there are some redeeming qualities to YouTube, okay? And social media and Instagram crap is fun. The girl waves her butt in your face, whatever. All that dumb crap that just, I think it constipates your brain. I'm trying to detox my brain, detox my heart, my body. I was trying to detox. That's why I'm an expert, is because, and this is all just for fun, but I'm an expert because I was trying to detoxify childhood trauma with my diet, which can help for sure, but then you have to gird up your loins and be prepared to observe the unpleasantness within. And this is what we all run from. And the sophisticated mechanism of distraction, plus our society, they feed into it for the corporations. But you have a mechanism in that I'm not going back there. I don't want to feel those feelings. I don't want to track back through my own karma. But that's not the way. So be prepared for unpleasantness, and when it arises, embrace it, because that's the physical detoxification. Unpleasantness is going to arise, and moments of pleasantness as well. Emotional detoxification. Moments of unpleasantness, but also moments of some clearing, and then the next day you're like, wow, I haven't felt this good in a while. I'm really glad I'm doing these meditation practices from DTM, And then mental stuff, you're like, I don't want to watch this trash. I don't want to be scrolling through this garbage with all this all this stuff. And then you start paying attention to what you're feeding your brain. You start to become aware of the heart, and you're like, wow, I'm really angry right now. And you know what? I'm going to allow myself to be angry. I'm going to sit with this anger, and I'm not going to project it out onto anybody, or cut the guy off in traffic, or yell at my wife, or kick the dog, or beat up my kids, or beat up the neighbor guy, or go to a bar and get in a fight. No, I'm just going to be angry. I'm going to feel the anger, and then it's going to dissipate. But no, we don't do that. And us dudes, we have a hard time crying too. But we need to feel our feelings. We need to detox the junk out of our brain and make sure what we're putting in there. And we need to be very conscientious of that, because the doctor's going to say, you're going to die. You're going to die. And you're going to be afraid. But Dan McDonald's going to say, well, do you want to live? Let's do this, man. Because health is the K-U-R-E for all this ease when you're ill at ease. So that's the thing. If you say that within the video and you don't say it within the way to kick down the algorithm confusion of the AI bots, hopefully we are okay, because then what they do is they demonetize, and then I don't get my little Google snack money. Can you dig it? So, physical detoxification, that's what we're working on today. It takes me 20 minutes, but like I said, I just got to do this my style. I have to do this my style, and I don't need to edit because I believe in myself. And the other people, they need to edit because they need to take the stuff out, or they don't know what they're talking about, or they need to go and Google something real quick and come back. I live this day in, day out for like 3 decades on the juicing, 29 years on the enzymes and supplements, you know, that really did help me, especially back then to get sober. It was the enzymes and the algae, and I had been drinking, so I had the juice, and then the enzymes came in, and I was like, wow, this. Then I'd go off the enzymes, and I'd fall back down and go back to binging and stuff, and then I need those enzymes for my brain, you know? And it just took me a while to get this hammered out, you know, to become in a pretty good place in my life. I don't like to embellish. My life is perfect. I'm a social media influencer. Here's my highly curated moments of the best parts of my life. And I've been going through a phase where it's like, this sucks, but I have to do it because I'm too smart to avoid what people call the inner work, which really the only work is just being there with the willingness to observe the unpleasant aspects of life because of your attachment to the pleasant side. But the unpleasant starts to go away as soon as you loosen up the attachments to the pleasant. Because we're all just a dog chasing our tail for pleasant, or pleasures, if you will. And that's the biggest problem in today's world. Excessive pleasure, burning out all the systems, clogging up the systems. Instagram and Facebook clogging up your brain with anger, and you're not good enough. So the teenagers are killing themselves, and it's really messing us up. So we are going to focus today on physical detox because that's where most of my people are, whether it's like an addiction to fast food, bad sleeping habits. We're going to go into all that today as I just chill and do this my way. Hopefully my way works for you. If not, you're not even here anymore. You've already clicked off. So thanks for hanging around. But you can see how social media can make you nuts because you're like, does anyone even care? Because otherwise I don't need to do this. I got other side businesses and stuff like that. But I do enjoy this, you know? But if it's just gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to talk to myself. I wanna be, because I believe in this. Like, I love this and I live this every day like a fire because I still need to be the man that I wanna be. Now, that's all some kind of strange illusion in my head, but it keeps the fire burning because I don't do the porn and I don't do the masturbation, so I have a lot of youthful vitality to live. If you're constantly wasting your seed, every plant that goes to seed is on its way out now. That's what life is for. So if you're more conscientious with your seed, then you'll have the oil that lights the lamp of life within you, and you'll have vitality and virility. But we all want a 30-second, 10-second muscle spasm for a dopamine rush after watching porn or these AI chicks or all this crazy stuff, which is gross. You know, and hey, no one's been more lustful than me, but I gotta work on lust. I don't want it because you're way healthier, way happier, way more fulfilled when you get rid of all that lust. And all the girls on social media, they're not helping either because they're like, my spiritual breasts are so firm, you know. Look at how my yoni egg wand is gonna open up the tantra circles of breath work for our eternal orgasm while they're just half naked and stuff. And it just doesn't help us men to be, you know, as pure as we can be. There's nothing wrong with making love to your person, but this whole like over sexification, over drinking, over partying, over everything that's gonna burn us out. And believe me, I'm on my way back from this whole lifetime of burnout. So I'm regenerating my brain, regenerating my body. This part of me is the best because I've had paradigm, I've had juicing, I've had raw foods, and I've had to continue to do the rest of the work. But let me just tell you where I'm coming from, that it's like, aren't you there yet, Dan McDonald? It's like, when I'm there, you'll see me. I'll be sitting cross-legged in a samadhi there'll be a halo around my head, and I'll just smile sweetly at you and transmit the energy in silence. And you can come and see me anytime. Bring me a bowl of white rice, you know, or a juice, some fruit, better yet, you know. I'll be Swami Dhanananda at that time, and there'll be nothing more to say, you know. But for now, there's obviously some sort of karma with me to be a teacher, and I hope to be as humble as I can, yet excited, yet effective. Okay, so here we go again, 25 minutes, this guy, and then I'm the one that feels bad, like all you do is talk. I'm like, but I love it. I want to hear myself talk. I'm a genius. I'm a very simple man. I love sunlight. I love fresh air. And I love going to bed on time because then I wake up refreshed. And if I don't go to bed on time, I don't wake up refreshed and I don't have a good day. So the sleep is the gosh darn key. And every single client that I've got, well, I go to sleep sometimes, 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like, wow, everybody. Now, even my roommate, landlord roommate, I'm renting a room in her house, but, she's like watching me and she's like, I'm going to bed way earlier, and she just feels better, and she's 100% raw. So, she's feeling better, because you gotta go to bed on time. Your sleep, forget about the food and the Pyridine. That's secondary. The food, the Pyridine, the regeneration of the gut, but the gut is also associated with sleep. But the sleep, if you don't have that, I have a client and we're still trying to work on this, where it's like, I'm trying to open this damn box for like an hour. Like, dude, you are so weak from the raw foods, you can't even open a cardboard box. I've got a client that, she has the night shift. And it's just impossible to get healthy. If your sleeping schedule is like, well, I get home at 7 and I go to sleep at 8 or 9 in the morning and I sleep till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, it's like you just can't. You cannot. You have to be in alignment with nature's rhythms in this life. And this is all, the juicing and the Pyridine, it's all like herbal technology, like you're juicing herbs and stuff and fruits, to just flush and hydrate the system, to work on the soft tissues, because most of the diseases are soft tissue, which is a good thing. You don't want the calcareous deposits, which is from the synthetic pharmaceuticals and the isolated, chemicals, which we're all exposed to, and hopefully you're flushing all that stuff out of you so it doesn't build up into these calcareous deposits, because that's where you start to get a little bit more difficult. But these soft tissue issues, you ate too much fast food and now you're 40, 50 pounds overweight. Or you were just drinking too much and your prostate got inflamed. And then you went to the doctor and he gave you this doom and gloom death sentence when it's not really true. All you gotta do is drink some cucumber juice, watermelon juice, quit eating so much, start doing some 36-hour water fasts and get on the protocol. Clean up your gut, get those metabolites of consciousness up into your brain, because your food is consciousness. This is your number one brain. That's why Pyridine is so awesome, because this is like rocket fuel for the microbes in your gut. And yes, it costs money, but then again, if you see all the crap that people spend money on, they'll be like, oh, I can't afford Pyridine. But then they'll take some crazy chick that isn't even gonna see them again. She just wants a free meal. He'll take her out on a date and spend 150, 200 bucks on some crazy chick that's only just using him because she doesn't have anything else to do tonight. So these guys are making bad investments. People are making bad investments. And if you're overweight, sick, which all these people, they have money. That's the difference. Dan McDonald kind of went a different way. I was like, I could go the money way or I could go the health way. And I just wanted to go the health way. I just thought to myself that I would be richer later on in life. If I'm, 52 is not much, but still, if you're spry like me, you're very grateful. You wake up early, you have life force energy, you can go for long walks, take a bike ride, go to yoga class, you have energy, and you can do whatever you want with your life. But when if people barely older than me or even younger than me have these chronic diseases, depression and all that stuff, you need to work on all that stuff. But I'm glad I chose the health. And now there's people with tons of money, but they have no health. I got millions and millions, but I'm like 100 pounds overweight, and they look terrible and they stink, and they don't feel that great, but they have a lot of money, so, but if you can invest in yourself, then you can start, coming way up. So Ryan will have to maybe make a section of this video. Hopefully he watches it. He's my dude that cuts everything up. But you can maybe make this part of the video, Ryan, a separate thing, and you can repost that So we'll just get started here on this, but this is a ceramic knife, by the way. I highly recommend it for, mechanical purposes, and they're the sharpest. But anyways, where are we at? Let's go with the cleanse. I have a cleanse powder. This is the long master class of infinite context. But the first one that you use, you've done the shot here. The first one in the morning is the cleanse powder. Move the juice out of the way. That's my spoon, which I'll use because I'm actually going to do the whole protocol right here in front of you. I'll be all bloated when I'm done, but I'll have so much power. This is the cleanse powder. This is the first thing that you take in the morning. This is really comes after the fast. So this is break fast. What happens is you go to sleep and your body does a lot of great stuff to clean everything up and get everything moved out. And then in the morning, this is what you're using to sweep through, everything that you worked on with the rest of the protocol with the parasite herbs and the biofilm enzymes. And the cleanse then goes through and sweeps that. So I'll try to make this easy for you that I'm gonna do a cleanse shot myself right now. I need it, but I wanted to give an example. And I've got an opened cleanse powder here. So this is the long version, and it's just like, I have this pressure in the back of my head, even coming from love, like it's 30 minutes later. And I'm gonna try to compress this into like a 10-minute video. I could probably do it in 5. I would say here, take 8 of these, and 8 of these, and 8 of these, and then take 8 of these, and then with juice, and that's it. Okay, have a nice day, But the cleanse powder here is you wash all the junk through. Herbs that soften everything and pull and sweep. And believe me, I've helped a lot of people they don't want to change their diet, they don't want to quit going to Taco Bell. So this is their mainstay. They're like, listen, I can't live life without Taco Bell or Chick-fil-A. But when they do that and they don't use the cleanse, they poop about every 3 to 5 days. When they do this, at least they poop every day because it softens. It's got cascara, it's got other herbs in there. And then it also has the nice sweeping, and it bulks everything up and it pulls and it just keeps you regular. But it also does deep tissue detoxification, and it also feeds the beneficial microorganisms, which ends up healing the ileum, which is a really thin layer of microbes that let the healthy stuff in through liquids, the healthy liquids and the nutrients into your bloodstream, which is what this whole thing is about, the bloodstream. And it keeps the toxins and stuff out. So you poop out the mercury, you poop out the excessive, undigested, unbroken down proteins so that they don't get into your blood, because then when you see the live blood cell analysis, you'll see just massive amounts of white blood cells, big chunks, parasites, mold, all kinds of crap in the bloodstream. Then you do like the lemon ginger blast and Enzyme for like 3 days, and then your bloodstream, you can see the red blood cells improve with the live blood cell analysis. And then with the herbal blood and stuff, you start to see less parasites, less white blood cells, more nice, healthy, plump red blood cells that carry oxygen to all the parts of your body, which is what gives you a feeling of wellness. And when we get the varicose veins and we get the sludge and the slime blocking up the microcapillaries from enzyme depleted food, which has been transformed by heat. That's why I love raw food, and that's why I love the juice, because it acts as a solvent. And you don't have to take any vital force either. You can just flush out all the crap. It enhances the blood. You take the herbal blood and the Enzyme, and your bloodstream becomes alive again. And the enzymes break up all the occlusions in the small microcapillaries. I point to the brain because that's the area I focus, but also watershed areas in the heart, which I've never even heard science talk about that, but I know they're there. And when I say the heart, I actually mean the thymus gland, which is the gland of feeling. But suffice to say that the better the circulation to your brain, your heart, your glands, your extremities, then you don't have all the like, oh, I'm in my late 40s and I can't even walk anymore. Or, you know, you gotta keep moving. That's another thing, exercise. They call it exercise, but I just go out and have fun. I don't even call it exercise. I just go out and have fun. And if you have a tendency to be a little bit lazy, you need to be like, okay, I'm going for a walk tomorrow, because once you get it going, then it gets going. Then you see, wow, I feel way better when I walk. I feel better emotionally, I feel better physically, my butt's tighter, my legs are tighter, my arms are tighter, I process a lot of emotional crap, my brain works better. It's like humans are bipeds, walking, hiking, cycling. But the walking and the hiking, just that's where you really, you know, process so much and increase circulation. So the blood can get there. So what that does is that'll bring nutrients like oxygen, basically, the ultimate nutrient of all. And then that'll pull out all the waste that's blocking up. And then you can, you know, you can either take the Pyridine and you can do it in 6 months, or you can take 3 years to do it with the low enzyme, low quality, low mineral, kind of dead, weak foods. Even if it's raw food, it's like, well, it's shipped from another country and it's lost its vital force. And I'll just give you an example. Like, look at these. You know, this is a fruit that comes off of a tree, you know, yesterday, maybe even this morning, but probably yesterday. And that's a papaya. So it's alive, man. Here's a mango, you know. And these aren't shipped from Mexico and then 3 weeks later I get them at Costco. These are coming off the tree. So the vital force, the vitamins, minerals, enzymes are all at their peak. But guess what? The food sucks. It's sad, and that's the only reason why we need something like Pyridine and juice cleanses. Other than that we go to restaurants. As soon as food became an art, so did medicine. And so this healing is also an art, which in the perfect world, none of us would need any of this. But the food sucks, the environment, the stress, and just our, you know, you go here, you go there, you got dinner meetings and you do all this stuff. Now, my whole job is just to stay healthy. My whole job is just to eat right, you know, so I'm lucky. And I've talked to 1 million people, so I get it. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get it. And like I said, I have clients that are carnivores. Good on them, you know? They're like, I'll guide them through a thing, a fast or something, and then they'll be like, I did this fast, and I'm just decided to go carnivore because that's what works for me. But after the fasting, I just got rid of all the sugar cakes and stuff that my wife wants to, you know, eat. And I'm like, well, cool, that's the fasting, because really it's the goddamn junk, sugar, crap, garbage, highly processed trash. So I'll call this a double dose, right? If you do 1 tablespoon, sorry, it's just ridiculous. I know, my style, okay? It tastes, whatever. It's just ridiculous, my style, and I gotta quit feeling bad about that, you know? Like, I just need people who are gonna wanna learn. You can't learn this shit in 5 minutes. So I'm sorry for being pissed, but everybody wants everything instantaneously and they don't wanna take the time to learn. But I go over and over and over and over it again with myself every day, over and over. Why do you think I've made progress in certain areas of my life? Because over and over and over, I listen to the same ones, and not all this dibby crap. I listen to the highest. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be, because otherwise you're just in the low vibes, and it's like, well, and then they're trapped in duality. They don't see the oneness of it all, you know? They don't see the oneness where it's like what you do is you clean out your temple, and then the oneness was always there. So you're just trying to get the apparatus here to be more of a super connector, to where you don't have so much rust on your antenna and you can tap in, and then you can begin to trust yourself and listen to yourself. And that's the problem. We're always going to get information outside of us. But if you learn anything else today besides the sleep, please also learn to go inward and, you know, reconnect back to the internet, I-N-N-E-R, instead of the internet, which is like outside of yourself. And then all the information, you're confused. Ask yourself, am I hungry? What do I want? And you're like, well, I'm not even hungry. Well, then why would you eat? So all this crazy stuff where we've been so brainwashed, programmed, and psyoped, not even intentionally, just humanity doesn't tend to normally think or contemplate any more deeply, you know, than like, what is the truth, you know? What is the truth about all this stuff, you know? So anyway, this is a double doser, okay? And, you know, I'll make shorter videos too, but today I just needed to do this one. This is an icebreaker. I usually do a different kind of thing than an icebreaker than this, and then I do this more on the educational thing. But the icebreaker, I've been off social media for a few weeks. I mean, mental health for Dan McDonald is number one. I will throw this thing off a bridge if it starts. I want to be happy. I'd rather live in a cardboard box than be happy, but this is a service to humanity and the truth of it, where I'm just a normal human being. I don't have a highly curated life on Instagram. I'm just a regular, boring dude. I don't want the stupid camera in my face and pretending so much. I don't airbrush myself. I don't filter anything. I have no Botox. I've never dyed my hair. I've never done anything. I'm just a real human being. I'm gonna get old, skinny, gray, and die. Okay? And I'm not gonna airbrush my pecs or whatever the hell that anybody's doing out there with all that stuff. I don't need a highly curated life. I just want to be a real human being. Can you drink to that, please? I'm going back. I'm going back to being a human being. Let everybody go AI, get their little digital chip in their brain or whatever the hell they're going to do, and get the little digital thing in their pee-pee that makes them get erections with the blue pill and the red pill all mixed together. All I got to do is get some good exercise and some good sleep and eat good, wholesome, natural, plain, simple, basic peasant food so that I don't get the king's disease, which everyone's getting the king's disease. Fat, sluggish, tired, just sad, sick, and it sucks. And so I'm here to try to see if there's anything I can do to help. Can you dig it? You can take the cleanse powder, or you can take the cleanse caps. Convenience, because you know this. You take your watermelon juice, right? And you take 16 ounces of it and you mix it in there. Then you drink the rest of the 16-ounce juice, and that's your meal. And so I have barely done a very good job. I think this one might be more of an opener, because then I can sit down and really laser it in, and I'll do that another one for all the people too there that want to just see what's the protocol, bop, 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 bop. Because that wasn't what was happening today, because I wanted to catch up with everybody, you know? Cleanse powder, more for your money. Cleanse caps, more convenient. Obviously, I use them both. 8 caps is a tablespoon. Put it in any juice. Orange juice, green juice, coconut water. Some people use regular water. Grapefruit juice is awesome. Whatever juice is just awesome. And man, this just cleans you out. It keeps you cold and clean. And that's the beginning of the transformation of your health and your life, is to get your GI tract functioning optimally by eating real, whole, natural food. I'm a raw food enthusiast, man. Well, I call it a live food enthusiast because I want the living mango, the living watermelons fresh. So I just get all the food fresh. I get the coconuts fresh. I'm gonna make a yogurt for you before this video is over. And fresh food that's local, but you don't have to be religious about it. You just have to enjoy it, appreciate it, slow down, calm down, be grateful for the food, sit with it, make sure you're not eating when your spirit is vexed and you're just calm and you're grateful and it's not too much mixtures and too much stacking. I believe in simple mono juices, simple mono meals, but there's nothing like a great salad or any of the food that you love to eat. You don't need to have a food trip about it, but this is a lifestyle for me, because I just want to stay healthy all the time. For some of my friends, this is just a cleanse that they do for 3 days, 7 days, 10 days. There's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I'm gonna have to go over this a million times because all I did was get my jollies off talking about all kinds of talk story, you know? And I haven't even gotten started with this. So you'll have to excuse me. That's my downside. It works against me and the algorithms, and then the people like, this guy just rambles on, but it's my style, it's who I am. I wanna relax. If I don't enjoy this, there will be no videos from Rejuvenator Guy. If I had somebody that did it all for me, but I do it. And so I don't even wanna edit. I wanna be the last guy on earth that doesn't edit. Can you dig it? Like the last real human on earth, McDonald, and then I'll have like a plaque in some city somewhere, you know. Everybody else had the AI arms and the AI brain and the AI eyeballs and the AI teeth, you know, and the AI, you know, I won't even say that. Whatever, dude. Let the technology go, but I'm an organic human being. Sure, I've got a juicer, by the way, FYI. I mean, I shouldn't say it like this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Nama sucks, okay? Nama sucks compared to the Green Star. And I've seen a Johnny Juicer sells his Nama, okay? So that's bad for me to say that, normally out of respect, but I just don't like it. Maybe that's the best way to say it. Sure, you wanna be lazy and just walk away while it does it for you, but then it gets clogged up. Yay, the juicer got clogged. When's the last time the Green Star got clogged? Never. I can put that thing to work. I can do 8 gallons of juice and putting all kinds of stuff in there. Try some coconut meat in your Nama. I can do rock hard coconut meat in that Green Star, and guess what comes out the bottom? Coconut cream, the dream, the light, fresh, fluffy, delicious. I'm a Green Star boy. I shouldn't have even said that about the Nama, but I've had bad luck with it. I broke one once and had to buy it as I borrowed it from my friend. Broke it, had to buy it. I said, I'm gonna buy another goddamn juicer. So that set me back. And then I used my friends over there, and it just clogs up, and I'm not into it. So anyways, get a damn good juicer. Use the Nama if you've got it. But man, always talk to DTM. I've been juicing every day for 33 years, dude. I've owned like 3 or 4 Green Stars, and they've never broke down. I just wanted to get the new one because it's my job, you know, to have the top level. Now I have the Green Star Elite Pro with the full metal blades. I can do grasses, coconut, hard coconut. Never stops. Just tight, squeeze, get the fresh, get the herbs out of the greens. Can you dig it? So the cleanse is first. You know what I'm saying? You take the cleanse in the morning, whenever you have your breakfast. Get a little movement in though before you consume anything. Do some yoga. If we just wake up and eat, that does not make any sense to me. I like to get the wheels spinning first so that there's some absorption. I like to go and just take a walk. I get up every day. Well, I get up real early, but then I leave after meditation. I just get right up. Sometimes I rinse off, sometimes I don't. And I just head right out to the beach, which is the key. In fact, I'll make that about that. This just didn't work out too well with this whole thing, whatever. But if you watch the sunrise, that'll be the single greatest thing that you do in your life to change your entire health, is to get your brain and your melatonin set to the sun. Then as much time as you can spend in the light outside in your eyes and on your skin, the more melatonin builds up, the more you detoxify at night. If you're up scrolling late till 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, and you got that going on, then you try to get up and you miss the sunrise, you're never gonna get your circadian biology on point. When you wake up and watch the sunrise, then you wanna go to bed like I do. I go to bed at like 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Sometimes I go to bed at like 7. Bam, I'm out. Sleep like a baby, get up at 3 or 4, fresh. Because those early morning hours of the sleep are the brain regenerators. This whole sleep thing, I cannot emphasize it enough. And we don't, oh, I'll sleep when I'm dead. We make a joke out of all this stuff. And that's why the whole place is hell in a handbasket. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to be sick just because our culture's like, well, let's all get sick. I mean, come on, man. It's so cool to be like overweight and sick. We can just get some Ozempic or staple our stomach. We can take all these pills. Maybe we'll just get some amphetamines, you know, and it'll only totally mess us up and destroy our lives, but that's okay. As long as we're doing whatever we want, whenever we want, with no regard for the laws of life and no respect for the creator or creation. I would say be humble so that you can feel good. Because if you don't go with the way, then you will never be at ease. And you will always be just tripping, sick, on drugs, and the doctors, you're gonna die. It's just a toenail fungus. He's like, nope, the death sentence, sorry. We're gonna have you on these pills. We're gonna take all your insurance money. We're gonna scare you to death, and the last 2 or 3 years of your life is gonna be miserable, and we're gonna cut you and prod you and test you and scare you and drug you, and then you're gonna die miserable at 90 pounds and unhappy. And I'm like, that would never be me. That will never be me. I will go and I will die slowly in my own way with no tests, no cutting, no drugs. I don't even care if I die right now. But there's no way I'm gonna die without my dignity from these dudes who, sure, emergency medicine. Do they do some good stuff for people that are absolutely batshit crazy and give them the drugs? Sure, but all these people that are just, oh, you have feelings? Well, we need to drug that out of you. It's like, I want to have feelings. You're a human. You're gonna go everywhere, up and down. You're gonna feel it all. But now you're gonna take drugs and be like, I don't have any feelings. I'm feeling much better now. Thank you, doctors. Thank you, psychiatrists, for prescribing me to have 5 different drugs, you know. It's a clown world out there, dude, and I'm not even really trying to be too derogatory on it, but they suck, and I have hope. It's like all you got to do is clean out your gut, clean out your heart, clean out your blood, clean out your lymph, clean out your brain, go outside, and be happy, relax. You know, make love to your wife, whatever. Eat some good food, do some squats, some push-ups, you know, move around, do some yoga, take a long walk, bounce on the rebounder, you know. You have to do it though. You can't just be, yes, we all got the stupid screens and the technology, and we're not going to escape that anytime soon, but you got to find balance. You got to get outside. You got to live in nature, and you got to eat real food. And it's like, okay, this is my little thing, the juicing thing. I just always stay with it. There's a lot of reasons why I got into it. I got onto it. Should everyone live off juice? Maybe not, but what I do is I'll have 2, 3, maybe 4 juices. I mean, I do hot yoga, I ride my bike, I'm all over the place. You know, I haven't been in the gym. That's the only reason. Otherwise, there'll be about 10 or 15 more pounds on me. But I'm just doing this other thing, more of a spiritual kind of thing, you know what I'm saying? I do plan on going back to the gym one of these days and hitting it hard. I'll probably still live off juice and just have a little more protein at night, but I just do my liquids, do my consults, yoga, exercise, coconut business, you know, and just drink the juice, take the enzymes, and then I just stay energized all day. Because you know what happens when you eat a solid meal full of fat, carbs, and proteins. You're like, whoa, that's cool, man. So when people do that at lunch, it's like, wow, that's rough. You know what I'm saying? I like to do it in the evening, 3, 4, 5 o'clock is when you have your meal, and then 6, 7, 8 o'clock you're digesting. Then you go to bed with the food, the most of it digested. The most complex part of the work. Then you sleep, then all the melatonin you get from the sun detoxifies all the waste and the stress of the day. You have a good night's sleep. Your spirit purifies your soul. Your soul animates your physical organism. The melatonin gobbled up all the crap and all the other detoxifications. Now your mitochondria are functioning because you've got circulation, blood flow, and electrical flow because you slept and recharged the battery. So these things are just some of the stuff. It goes on and on forever, you know, and I could talk about it for forever. Let's just try to go on with this thing, and then I'll do it again later better. And I just wanted to kind of do a generalized thing. And the second meal of the day is got the cleanse powder there. the second meal of the day for the second part of this protocol, which is 3, 7, 10, 14, 21, 40, 60, or 90 days. After that, you want to take a break, just basically due to the herbal blood and stuff. And then you just take a break. You can take a break for 3 weeks and then get back on it again. But then you'll learn this stuff and you'll understand this stuff more intuitively as well. And then you can start becoming your own health educator by listening and playing and having fun with this. You're like, I like juice in the morning, and then I like a smoothie at lunch, or whatever. If the juice was too much, you might have to have lower sugar juices. If you're someone that's really dirty, the too much high sugar juices, they don't absorb as well. And if you don't get enough exercise either. So if you're just starting out, sometimes the more green, low sugar juices are a little bit better for those that are just really clogged up, that just can't even get the glucose into the tissues. But the way you remedy that is to start cleaning out the GI tract, start cleaning out the bloodstream, and also getting out for physical exercise. I mean, I have been around this game a long time, and it surprises me. I don't want to use the word lazy, but you have to make an effort. You have to make a choice. You don't have to be an elite endurance athlete, insane like I am, where I'm like hiking like 15 miles in 115 degree heat just for the fun of it, just because I want to test myself that way, And then my truck, it just was broke down for the last day. It was actually just the battery. They sold me a bunk battery. I thought I had electrical problems or something. This guy just, did you need that? I gave him a ton of money, dude. I said, thanks, bro, And then I went and got a new battery. But that's why I rode my bike all over yesterday to get my errands done and stuff. I rode like 25 miles just to get all my errands done, because my truck didn't work. And so, but that was nothing, I still ride, but maybe not 25 miles a day, maybe like 10 or 12 or something. But just getting out and you have to move, and lifting weights is good. Yoga is good. Rebounding is good. Please, for the love of God, do something. And if you're crazy like me, you'll keep it all really well when you do all of it. When you do some weightlifting, some rebounding, some yoga, some cycling, hiking, kayaking. Walking's the best though. Walking out in nature is the best, especially when you're on the protocol and you're healing yourself. This is the enzymes. These are therapeutic, super concentrated endogenous enzymes. As we have, exogenous. The endogenous enzymes are inside of you. They're much higher when you're a teenager and in your 20s. And then after a while, like about around 35, we just eat too much cooked food that's too spiced up. We overeat, the pancreas is working, the liver's working, and we just burn out our enzyme bank account, And I was doing that with drugs and alcohol and stuff. And that's why the enzymes were helping me, because I was strung out on all that crap. And the enzymes just kind of boosted me up to keep my enzyme activity within my biology up to another level. And then when I pulled that out, the heaviness of the alcohol and the weed and everything else that I was doing, and having hella sex too, which also depletes your enzymes. So all the things that we do, they depletes our enzymes. So this is therapeutic concentrated. I have the digestive, 1,000 count digestive. This is for like cooked foods or more complex raw foods. When Lou and I eat at Olak, which is way more complicated raw food, then we blast hella enzymes before and after. And that's even with the raw food and all the enzymes intact and all the culturization, because Lou taught Mai how to culturize everything so that all this stuff is cultured and enzyme enhanced, and soaked and sprouted. But still, it's a big old pile. Like, we'll get like all kinds of different tasty, delicious stuff. And so we blast the enzymes. Now, if you just do the mono meals and stuff like that, then you don't need to take the digestive enzymes, of course. And it's raw food, and it's local and fresh and organic and high vibration. Best to grow your own food. Then secondarily, to support the local farmers market that just picked it like yesterday or this morning, and it's got the high vibration, high enzyme, high mineral, high vitamin delivery, high microbes. The microbes die off, and that connects you to nature. So fresh, whole, like unrinsed food, but trying to avoid the pesticides and crap, and the processed food for sure, which we could make a whole new thing about that. But there's waste matter left over from the highly processed foods that have the enzyme inhibitors, because with the enzymes intact, food goes bad. When they put the chemicals that are enzyme inhibitors in all the highly processed foods, it shuts down your enzyme systems. And then you're just walking around like a zombie all the time, So this will bring you back to life. The enzymes in the raw living foods, the enzyme preservation from, I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore. I'm going to get healthy. No more excessive sexual activity, just concentrated, focused, intentional lovemaking, yes. But just mindless, we had spicy chicken wings, and now I'm just gonna, use my girlfriend's, to just, for my own pleasure. So just try to be conscious about everything, Stress burns up your enzymes. Cooked food, processed foods, and then all those enzyme inhibitors block up your functionality and all your glands and stuff. And so you're trying to wash all that crap out, remove all the processed foods, and reactivate the enzyme system, because the pancreas is just bogged down. And the pancreas and the liver and all the organs are distended because they're working 3 times as hard to try to keep up. But if you just ate a papaya, zing, then bing, 8, 10, 12 hours later. But with these other meals, you're talking about 18, 24, 72 hours because of all the cancellations. The carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, all the different enzymes and the different function, they can kind of cancel themselves out. The body's like, what the hell do we do with this? You've got proteins, carbs, and fats all at the same time in one, like, Taco Bell meal or something at a fast food place, or even going to an upscale restaurant where you mix a bunch of stuff. It's like maybe you'll have some fruit, and maybe you'll have some or a salad, but you're trying to make things simplified, because there's a million different ways that I could put this. But the more simple you eat, the more absorbability your body's going to have. And I just lean more towards the mono meal concept. But I had a nice salad last night with avocado, a pretty simple salad, carrots, ginger, salad mix, and some avocados, Super basic, but, just delicious, easy to digest. Pooped like a racehorse this morning. Took a bunch of cleanse yesterday though. So, what I'm saying? Just keeping it on the real. Simple. So the enzyme therapy is what this is. And when the bottle says empty stomach, and they've been using enzyme therapy for a long time, and the pharmaceutical people, they do not want you to know that this will put out about half their products, okay? Because it's a blood thinner, it's an anticoagulant, it helps to break down all the stuff that's causing you to have diseases, all these built up pockets of festering filth, because there's no oxygen getting there. And so you've got all this fungus and all these parasites living in these pockets of waste matter. And that's why you can bring in the enzymes and start breaking up the biofilms all in there also as well, because the microbes, they want to survive. And once they get into a dysbiotic state, because you might be a carb addict, carbs, and then you've just got carby gut, and then you got yeasty vagina or yeasty pee or yeasty feet with all the cracks and all of the skin issues, so you want, if you're just over carbed, I see it all the time. I can tell when someone eats excessive carbs, especially processed carbs, okay? I can tell when someone eats too much processed fat, and I can see who eats the healthy fat, and I can see who eats the healthy carbs. And you can see what you're trying to do though in your day-to-day when you're not doing a detox is you're just trying to get a balance of carbs, proteins, fats, very simple but wholesome, raw fat, best for your skin, best for your cells, best for your hair. Also, raw, fresh carbohydrates, you know, that are even some cooked, you know, lightly steamed or whatever. I can 100% dig it, you know. But if you go with the starchy breads and that kind of stuff, that's when you start to get the fungus and stuff, and that's when you start to get the biofilms and the yeast and the candida, and that's when you start to stink, or you get the brain fog, or you've got the yeast infections and all the cracked up bad skin. And so you just eviscerate the biofilms. They hide in the biofilms, and then you break up the biofilms with the juice and the enzymes, and then the herbs in this not only irritate them, you want to irritate the herbs right out of you. You want to make it, this guy's got too much oxygen, too much sunlight, too much walnut hull, and it's irritating us, and we're not comfortable anymore. We want all of our tribute, you know? We want the pasture, the processed meats. We want the processed breads. We want the processed fats. That's what they live off of, those excessive weights, because the molecules are not easily digestible, broken down, utilized, and eliminated. So the microbes are in there, the parasites, the yeast, they're all in there to help you out in a strange way, because your habits and your choices have created an environment where they're just there to kind of help you out, to gobble stuff up. The problem is that they have their waste matter too, and that's the problem. That's where you start to stink. That's where you get irritated. That's where the death consciousness kind of comes in, where everyone's like, it's a doom and gloom world. It's going to be the apocalypse any day now. I don't even think I'm going to bother, you know. But if you clean it all out and get the sunlight in your gut, ding, you know. So the herbal blood kills the parasites, the yeast, candida, the mold in the GI tract and the bloodstream. Can you dig it? So when you combine these two, you have a extremely powerful formula to help you get your balance back in your homeostasis in your gastrointestinal tract, your microbiome. Then if you eat real food, your microbiome knows what to do and it'll get into a balanced state. But if you're all the way over here like, I love carbs, you know, you have that with a lot of autistic kids. They will only eat carbs. And then there's other humans that are like that too. I only eat bread. What else? More bread. And then what do you have for dinner? Bread. You know. And then you know, it's like, whoa, okay, you know, there's nothing. I mean, nothing. Just bread, carbs. And then there's all the other people too, you know, where all that can get out of balance. The body's an amazing thing, you know what I'm saying? But the whole foods is where it's at, because there's no one right answer, you know what I'm saying? This is more of just like a cleansing thing that you can do. Like I said, from anywhere from 3 days to 90 days. You flush it out, you get hydrated, you wash all the acid crystals out, you get your kidneys flowing, you get your liver to be down small, because this is all pre-digested. And you got the enzymes, so your liver and your pancreas aren't working so hard. Then your glands kind of start to wake up, and this improves your circulation. So all the blood is getting to there, and you're like, well, I'm starting to feel better. The Dan guy is not as crazy as I thought, you know? And then you got the colonics and the body work, and then you got the sunlight and the fresh air and the relaxation, and the like, you know what, I'm not gonna stress out anymore about trying to keep up with the Joneses, because it's stupid. You know, I'm just killing myself. It's not even real. Because if you went over to the Joneses' house, they're absolutely miserable. Because everyone who thinks that we're going to get this happiness with all this material stuff, it's not real. The whole thing is a psyop, and nobody's happy. Because the only happiness comes from the self. So that's why you clean up the temple, and then you get reconnected back to what I call God, or the source, and you're like, whoa, it's cool. What do you need? I don't really need anything. I feel pretty good. Don't you have a lot of goals to make up to get the, you know, the validation that you need from your childhood trauma? And you're like, I don't even care about that, man. I'm just gonna relax. I got a good thing going with this money thing. I'm not gonna kill myself to try to get another million, because then my wife will love me more or something like that. It's like, it's not real. None of this stuff's real. But when you feel healthy in your body and you're like, hey man, cool. I can lift weights, I can go for long walks, I don't get tired. My erections work, you know, my vagina gets wet. You know, I mean, sorry for being crass or whatever, but you know, it's like, that's the things that happen. You know, some women I know in their 50s, still like a waterfall. Other women are like, the patriarchy, God damn it. You know, so it depends on a lot of things, you know, like, but you want to just stay healthy. Keep your heart healthy, keep your brain happy with good stuff and thinking good ways, and try not to be too angry at the world, and deal with your own shit. Because if you deal with your own stuff, then the whole world changes. That is the secret. That you get the prize money for being here for 1 hour and 9 minutes and 35 seconds. If you change your inside self, the whole world will change, because the world is simply a projection of yourself. So if you want the world to change yourself. Get your health. This is kind of step one. Then you can work on your heart. Then you can work on your mind. I'm not going to go into everything that needs to be done, but there are processes of awakening and awareness and consciousness, and this helps. And most of the people need to get started on this. Whatever it is that you're doing, some kind of super simplified diet so your brain isn't always cloudy and you're not constantly poisoning yourself with the trash of society. This is orange juice, watermelon juice, green juice with cucumber, dill, cilantro, lime, and celery. This is plain coconut water here. What's your diet? Like, this would be my diet for the day. But I'm leaning more towards, now these are for the videos and stuff, and watermelons have been in season, and my friend just gave me a bunch of oranges. But what I'm trying to do, just to save money and to keep my life as uber simple, you know, is just to live off coconuts, because they're free for me. I climb the tree, get the coconuts, keep the trees healthy. So Mama Kawaii is asking me, hey, do me a favor, keep my trees healthy. And I'm like, yes, ma'am, no problem. And then I get free food, and I make the yogurt and stuff like that, which I'll have to do here in a minute. But I didn't even get started on any of this, because I'm the longest-winded son of a gun that's ever lived on the face of the earth. Because I like to hear myself talk, because I'm a genius. Okay, I'm just kidding, everyone. But so there you go. This is your first meal. This is your second meal, the pure enzyme and the herbal blood. And then this is your third meal. For my homeboy this morning, he said, can I fit the MSM in? The MSM, Google this, MSM and bromelain, and you'll see there's been a lot of research done on that if you have any kind of inflammation, because each capsule has the amount of bromelain as a pineapple, okay? And the MSM is the methylsulfonylmethane, and that can help to absorb a lot of nutrition, soften the cell walls, soften all the inflammation and the hardening deposits in your body. Okay, so it opens everything up and allows for more permeability of these living liquids. So you can see that if you are staying hydrated with the living liquids, water sucks. Unless you're like drinking out of a glacier or some, spring, but the water sucks that's sitting in these bottles and all this other junk. This is living water in fruits and vegetables. Can you dig it? Acting as a solvent, acting as a delivery mechanism, keeping your blood electrified. Just focus on the blood, the river of life, getting circulation to all the parts of your body and brain. So, yes, that's a lot of horse pills for one meal, but an ideal time to take the MSM is it is good here too. I mean, this is a lot of horse pills, but then, I was talking to my client this morning, and I said, that's a lot of horse pills. He said, I don't care. I said, neither do I. I'll take this whole bottle right now here in front of you, if that's what it takes. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll drink grass. I love drinking grass, So I'll do whatever it takes. I'll stand on my head for 5 hours a day if that's what it takes. You know what I'm saying? So the MSM is really super healthy for the inflammation, and that's been the issue that I've had all my life, is chronic brain inflammation. My mother actually died from it, so that's the reason why I became the Life Regenerator, and this is really helping me. I've been blasting it like crazy lately, because I only found out. Luz told me a few times, but it didn't quite sink in, and then somehow, as I was doing more research on trying to fix my own brain, that popped up, and it was like MSM and bromelain, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, that's the MSM from Paradigm. you know? So I was like, wow. And that was a whole Google thing. You can Google all this stuff, and it is absolute next level stuff. And the other thing, my friend, I'll just do that now. I haven't even gotten to that. I was going to do let me save that. I'll save most of the protein powders are swag, they're high heated, and they've got heavy metals and mold and pesticides. And Pyridine is top level clean, top level testing. This isn't just some dude blowing smoke up your ass. This is a dude that is telling you the truth. That if they bring something in and it is not pure and it does not pass, it does not go into the facility for manufacture, and it is rejected, and then we are out of stock for a week or 3 weeks, sometimes even up to 6 or 8 weeks. We'll be out of stock in something, losing tons of money, but we are not going to compromise quality. And that is why I love Pyridine, and I know the other companies, and they will compromise on quality and integrity, and Pyridine simply will not. That is Blue Corona, that is Phil, that is Dave, that is Dan. We're the team, and the whole rest of the team. They really care about this. They care about people. They care about God, and they care about Jesus. Can you dig it? Me, I'm not that religious. I'm more spiritual. It's just like, what's your religion? My religion is the truth. Can we explain that? Can you explain that to me? No, I cannot, because the minute we try to do that, it's no longer the truth. It just is. Can you dig it? So here's the probiotics. This is the re-inoculator after you eviscerate the hell out of all those microbes. These are the beneficial microorganisms that re-inoculate. They're like a police force that go in and support all the other beneficial microorganisms, of which there's thousands. So yes, there's only 5 in there. Yes, so they're just a support mechanism for a world gone mad with dysbiosis. Totally out of balance. Pancreas, the appendix removed, antibiotics, enzyme inhibitors, dead food, a seething bog. So now we're sending in some beneficial microorganisms. My daughter's, I was like, I'll buy your juicer. She's like, no, just give me some more probiotics. So she gave me the juicer. I realized, wait a minute, I gave you that juicer years ago. You're just giving it back to me. Now you swindled me out of a couple of bottles of Pyridine. But no, it's for my grandkids. So of course I'm going to send probiotics for my grandkids, because my grandkids are cool. They look at me like I'm some kind of superhero, man. And it is awesome, because my grandson would be like, he won't eat anything. But then if grandpa's like, hey man, that's the best part. You got to eat these foods. You got to eat these apples. He'll just, right there, he'll just start eating it. No one else. I guess grandpas have super magic special powers. But I love my grandkids. They're really cool. They'll call me on the phone, and then they won't even pay attention. They'll just be like, hey grandpa, and then they'll take off. They've got ADD. And then I'm just sitting there on the phone. They're just, I can hear them, but I can't see them. Anyways, it's so cool. But my daughter, she absolutely loves this stuff for her kids' bowel movements. Moms, they pay attention to that kind of stuff. I pay attention to my own bowel movements, but no one else's. Moms pay attention to their kids. And it also helps with Sissy, who's my granddaughter. It also helps with her eczema. And then it helps Jaja with his, So the probiotics can be very beneficial. There's a reason why this is $80 billion a year and climbing 5% year over year, probiotics and enzymes. It's going to blast off. People are going to eventually catch on to the enzymes and how basically you can avoid the pharmaceutical drugs that are just doing because all the side effects and all the metals and the preservatives in there, because this is all living constituents. The technologies behind this, it's all a living, cultured, high vibration, and then the herbs, so probiotics, super cultured probiotics, super cultured enzymes, all off of food grade material. So it's a high technology. And then it is so pure because everything is tested. And then it's just this, it's a technology, man, that we have. Like a juicer's a technology, a blender's a technology, things that we can do, because it's like you can put hella stuff into a blender, blend it up, and like, that's not natural. And it's like, okay, whatever. We can split hairs all day long, you know what I'm saying? But this is for the people that have gotten way the heck out of balance. And again, we're dealing with massive antibiotics everywhere we go. It's on all the food. What do you think the glyphosate is? It's a pesticide, which was actually an antibiotic. So that's gonna be a problem. So we want probiotics, and we want less of the antibiotics on our food and the pesticides. So that you can just see how it's like these people are like, Dan, I'm not gonna be able to live like you and have pristine watermelons, pristine mangoes, pristine papayas. What do we got here? Check these out. These came off the tree. These are the pristine bananas, you know. So that's just coming off the tree in the backyard. Look at these bad boys. I mean, I'm not even gonna, they smell good though. That's what I've been having for dinner every night, is like bananas, you know what I'm saying? So, whoa buddy. That's my little cord there to the blender. Anyhow, I'm just rapping and riffing now. So I'm gonna have to redo this, you know, tape the box back out. It's just, but whatever, I don't even need to fake it. But the probiotics. So this is the, can you see it? This is the ultimate, this is the core 4, and then this is the addition for those that have any kind of chronic inflammation. For athletes too, who wanna recuperate faster. And for people with chronic brain inflammation, because it'll allow actually to get the nutrients into the brain. So I take that with the nutraceuticals, the deer antler and things like that, which obviously is not vegan. And I use it to amplify the shilajit and get that in there so I could just start removing the stuff that happened to me in childhood and then young adulthood, you know, the life that I lived. And so I'm paying that off, and I'm just trying to do the best I can. That's why I stay on this detox lifestyle, you know, because number 1, it keeps me healthier than a horse, and number 2, I'm still working on these chronic issues from childhood, because my parents just didn't know any better, you know, and so I'm the one that has to be stuck with that, which is what it made me into, which was the life regenerator, which is a blessing. Like, our curses can be blessings if we play it right. Your disease can be the one thing that you can do to get motivated to turn your life around once and for all. When you're sick of the shit, when you're sick of yourself, you're tired, sick and tired of being just feeling gross and just being addicted and strung out to all this trash in society. Get addicted to fresh air, get addicted to walking, get addicted to going to bed on time. You know, get addicted to watermelon juice like we are in this house, you know. We've just been living off watermelon juice. She drinks more than I do, because I got the coconuts, and I don't even need to drink that much, you know, because I'm more of a breatharian type consciousness. I want to go out and get the sun, and I want to go out and get the air. So I just try to get out into nature and just sort of live off of that. This just kind of hydrates me after the hot yoga and stuff, because I'm sweating all the time, like I've been through this whole video, just sweating like a pig. So this is the Core 4 Heal All Protocol from Enzyme, designed by yours truly, Dan McDonald, with the motivation and inspiration of, you know, Lou Corona, who's still just going strong, you know what I'm saying? So the cleanse in the morning, then the Enzyme and the herbal blood in the afternoon, and then in the evening, the Pure Life. So you could make it look, you could make it look like this, and that's that. And that's the basic Core 4 Heal All Protocol. Cleanse, number 1, Enzyme and herbal blood, 2 and 3, and then Pure Life, number 4, the Core 4. You know what I'm saying? The Fantastic 4. And this is what it can look like, you know, boom, bam, bam. Just like that. So that is the base. Then you're hydrated. Then you're getting this fresh, cleansing, and all the sludge just starts coming out. And your blood, it's gonna take some time, but it's just gonna start washing the filth out of your body. Then it's up to you to get outside and go play, okay? So that's what that looks like. Now that's kind of the, that's sort of the, now there's beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So beginner is now you can have your regular meal, whatever that is, like hopefully something healthy. And I even allow for the so that nobody's like too constricted, like the cooked food, just whatever, steamed this, baked that, whatever, what you like. And it doesn't really matter, vegan, non-vegan, whatever, just some wholesome food. Okay, as you're working your way and becoming more aware and more conscious of your own body and its signals, because this will start to wake everything up. You'll be like, wow, you'll start to have your own sense of intuition, because normally we're just walking around like this. Oh, this is some delicious pizza, honey. We'll get some coffee now. Then we'll go to the cigar shop. Then we'll go get some ice cream. And you're just walking around like a zombie because everything is just sludged up and dead. And now you're just coming back to life with all this. You're going to start to have more intuition. So the beginner is, whatever. And I'm going to obviously recommend some kind of whole, natural, simple food. And you get to decide. That's the beginner. I'm going to recommend raw food. I'm 100% raw food guy. I hate to even say that because I don't care about percentages. One of these days I need to get on here and eat something weird, and just be like, what are you doing? I'll be like, just to break the goddamn thing, I'm 100% raw for myself, but I don't really eat, and I haven't always been, but because it's come and gone for me, man. You're talking about food is the greatest addiction of all, and none of us are immune to it. When you show me a real breatharian, which they all turn out to be not real, and that's the truth of it, because I've been in this game for a long time, and they all turn out to be not real. That was never my goal, but I do believe that's what we essentially are. But everybody uses the social media and they're like, I haven't done this and I don't do that, and none of it turns out to be true. So I'm just this regular dude. I got some bad habits I'm working on and stuff like that. But at present, I'm doing quite well, whatever. It always comes and goes. There's been some good phases and bad phases, and everyone's going to go through that. Depends, when you get down, you just kind of get down, and it's just the way it is, So do the best you can, but what you do is you just get through the protocol in the day. Like, I'm going to do that. You just say, I'm going to do it for 3 days, order the minimum amount and just do it for 3 days. And I need a reset. I'm just sick of this. I'm dying, and I know I can do this for 3 days. Or you're saying, you know what, I'm going to do it for 5 days. I can do this, or I'm going to do it for 7, or I'm going to do it for 10, or whatever. And the further you go, the more and more better things are going to get, And so the beginner is just a regular meal, whatever you like. And it's like, good, because now you're hydrated and you're way more aware. And you might not even be hungry. Then you'll be like, well, let's make our normal thing, and then this isn't even good anymore because this stuff is so high vibrational that I'm not even hungry. I got so much nutrition from all this. And then intermediate, it'd be more like a raw food, whole mono meal of fruit, or a smoothie, or a nut milk. That would be intermediate. And then the advanced would be just like another juice, let's say, for example, okay, let's do that. I'll do that right now to take one for the team. It's a little early for me to do this, but I'm going to show you I didn't even get through this crap. He's a funny guy. It might even be 2 hours. Well, I told you I'm a genius. I like to hear myself talk. I'm going to make this would be considered probably, probably more intermediate, but this is like the raw assurance. And I had a consult this morning and he brought this up. And this video is kind of inspired by him and Love and Tony. And I'm gonna do it again, and I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna get it into like 12 minutes. I won't even ramble on about anything. I'll just give the details. This is what you do it now, punks. So this is the Paradigm Natural, which I was telling you, this is the purest, cleanest, best, raw. This is really, really good, nourishing, wholesome food. Paradigm should be blowing up on this alone. There's a lot of protein powders. Some of them are okay, but this is just so simple and so whole and so pure and so natural and raw, with no solvents, no mold, no pesticides, no heavy metals, and just natural hemp seeds, pea protein, goji berry protein, protease, and proteolytic probiotic. Simple, but 22 amino acids, everything you need to just be balanced. I believe in amino acids, I believe in fatty acids, and I believe in carbohydrates, okay? I just balance. And there's no, you don't need to have a show. I'm nobody, you know. I'm not important, I'm not special. I'll leave that all to the little pretty boys out there and all the perfect little people. I'm just a regular old renegade that somehow ended up here doing his best. I don't want to have to even have the pressure of being this, that, or the other. Like I said, one of these days I'm going to get up here and eat something totally insane and just make a mukbang video of like, what the hell are you eating, dude? I can't believe it, Dan McDonald. After 25 years, I'm going to break this thing right in front of everyone just to cut myself free. I'll probably become enlightened and just float away. The body will fall over and my soul will just shoot up. He's like, the only reason you were even stuck on earth is you were trying so hard to be raw. Now you're free, my son. Come home. I don't even know what it is that I would eat. I don't even have any real cravings for anything. I don't even know what would I eat. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I'll get back to you. Anyways, let's do the couple scoops of the Raw Life, baby. Don't swallow it. A couple tablespoons of that, and then a couple tablespoons of the Life Essentials. This is the, and it's like, it reminds me of the Ovaltine, but that's coconut water, which you can get from like a couple tablespoons of the Life Essentials. And that's just, you can get that coconut, or you can use the white coconuts, and then you can make some yogurt, which I was gonna do, but man, I don't even know. We're way further, I didn't even know. But you know, sometimes a genius just wants to express himself and he's just so full of knowledge. So that is that. That's the Ovaltine. This would be more along the lines of intermediate, but man, this will, after a long day of juicing and like intensity of like emotions and mental stuff, and then when you go to drink this, it's just like, oh, praise the Lord. Or midday in the middle of making a video, 2:39. I mean, dude, that, I'm like, Dan, you're such a salesman. You know you're not enjoying that much. And I'm like, yes, I am. It's Ovaltine from childhood. It's just so smooth, so creamy, so delicious. And then you get jacked like me. You're huge. Yeah, because you got the protein in there. I don't know, I'm not gonna win any awards for like V-taper. Are you jacked, bro? Did you even lift, bro? You ain't even yoked, bro. What's wrong with you? Well, and then I say, well, can you walk up a flight of stairs? Well, no, not breathing hard. Can you put your pants on? No, my wife helped me put my pants on. What's your bench, bro? I bench 350. Do you do anything else? No, I bench. Do you walk? No. Do you squat? No, I bench. You know, so it's just, dude, it's like I could do, you know, I'm not, you know, I mean, I wish I was, if God would have made me bigger, that'd been better. Then I'd, you know, I don't know. I just don't, yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can say. It's just what you are. That's the thing. You have to accept yourself. I'm blessed. I'd rather be thin than overweight. You have to accept yourself. You have to accept yourself where you are. And that's been the hardest thing for me, you know, on social media. You have to accept the way you look. You got to accept the aging process. You got to accept where you ended up. Because that can keep you like, you know what, I'm a fat slob, and just one more day of smoking weed, one more day of drinking alcohol. Just, if you can really accept yourself and say, okay, man, we're really starting out at a pretty low place here, but let's see if we can get started on these lifestyle changes, you know. This stuff is incredible.
This is gonna be like, this is like a Life Regenerator fan's dream. Like more than an hour and a half now. I know I have like 200 or 300 people that watch this whole thing all the way through. And hey man, that's cool. But see, what I love about you is that you're helping me get that Google ad money. Like I said before, taking money from Google, it's like taking candy from a baby. No, I'm just kidding. Don't take candy from babies, but Google money, bruh, that's like 3 times the money. That's like Robin Hood kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Google doesn't bother me, big tech doesn't bother me. I just go outside and leave my phone at home. But this is our way of communicating. This is insane. Some dude making a master class, hour and a half long, whatever. This just kind of keeps it. So everything's good. What you want to do with your Paradigm stuff is store it in a cool, dry place, and it'll last many years. As soon as you open it though, because I got people, they're like, I bought all this stuff, but I didn't know what to do, you know, and then they're my clients like a year later. They got a whole cupboard full of Paradigm, but they haven't opened it. Once you open it though, make sure you use it though, because you don't want it to lose. And right now it's got the cotton, it's got the seal cap, it's, you know, it'll stay fresh a long time, especially in a cool, dry place. But once you open it, you want to be ready to go, raring and ready to go, to take this on, to get your juicer out, to make some batch juices, fill up your fridge, use 72 hours, you know, make juice for 3 days if you can. Like for me, I'd rather do it every day, but around here, it's just been kind of working to where I'll make it for, you know, up to 3 days. It'll be sitting in there, and that's cool, you know. It's better than, you know, just having it there, because watermelons, you know, you do a big old watermelon, you get like 3 or 4 jars of juice, you know, you put them in the fridge and you just juice on those for a few days, you know. So cool, dry place for the Paradigm. This is the Lifetime. If you, so it smells so fresh, and it's so good. Amylase, protease, acid stable protease. In other words, it helps break down and digest everything you eat. So if you have any weaknesses with your pancreas, or as you get older, your saliva doesn't work as well, you know, it just can help to digest and utilize the food. And if anyone was like, I'm broke, you know, I don't have much money, this would be probably what I would get. And secondarily would be like the cleanse. But this would be like the flagship right here. Just Paradigm, super concentrated, therapeutic, digestive enzymes with serratia peptidase and all the other protein, carb, and fat digesting, you know, lipase, fibers and things like that to even extract more nutrients out of the plant fibers. And it's got sprouted quinoa, which works as a, you know, prebiotic as well. So you're feeding the garden of your gut. You're going to spend a little money, but you're going to get a lot of health out of it. And there are people that are just Lou Corona, Dan McDonald adherents, and they just live on the Paradigm year round, and they are like 52-year-old women that are smoking hot. Like I said, dripping like a waterfall, because they're keeping everything popping. And then you get over here, and then these other guys are like, oh, this stuff is stupid. I don't even care. Let's go get some pizza. And then, okay, see ya. That's it. You're done. You're on your way down. The rest of us, we're on our way up, baby, because we have not seen our peak yet. Okay? Can you dig it? This stuff is so good. You can't even believe it. Life Essentials, full pack, epic. Raw Life Protein, what's up? Dude, you got every amino acid in here. And you are stoked, because that is going to help you with your mental health, your physical health. Amino acids are awesome molecules, man. And when they're fresh and clean and pure and wholesome, you can just get nice and dang. I haven't been taking it very much. I've been more on this real spiritual thing lately. Barely eating and barely drinking, you know, just really minimizing my consumption, just so that I can concentrate and focus. I hope to enter into more of an athletic phase here soon. lift some weights, get ripped. But I'm just like, right now, I'm just kind of chilling. This is the MSM methylsulfonylmethane. That's the anti-inflammatory, because like I said, each capsule has a pineapple's worth of bromelain, which is the #1 anti-inflammatory. Excessive proteins through the body creating inflammation. And the sulfur is the delivery mechanism for not only the bromelain, but for all other constituents that are in your juices and in your food. Enzyme powder. So that's the same thing as this, but in a powder form. One of the best things you can do, make a lemon ginger blast and put a big old tablespoon of this. Man, that will be what you live forever. That's the blood cleanser. The lemon ginger blast with a tablespoon of Enzyme. Bam, you knock that back, and that's gonna start the process of getting your blood cleaned out, electrified, energized. It's gonna begin the process of transforming your life. Here's another Pyrazine. So I'm set up. This is probably gonna last me 6 months. If I was blasting it really, really hard. So if you're on the protocol, then you do, it just take 8 of each. 8 cleanse, 8 herbal blood, 8 Pyrazine, and 8 Pura Life, And what I've done is I use everything just intuitively now. But I'm also planning on soon for myself just mastering the protocol within my own experience. But right now, I've just been, kind of just like intuitively. You can sort of just keep these around as medicines as you get more evolved and you've, lost the weight. For all the people that just need a reset for the gut, like my friend Love, who just was traveling, and then she's like, I need the cleanse and the detox, show me the thing. So I'm gonna have to make another one way shorter than this, because I don't want anyone to have to hang out for 2 hours unless it's the Life Regenerator fan that wanted to hear all this little detailed stuff. So that's the end of that. Not too bad. I was gonna make some yogurt, but you know what? It'll make it a 2-hour video. Let's do it. Let's just, since this is a master class, that's all the new stuff from today, and then I've got a bunch of stuff down here, that's already open. God, this really hit the spot, man. This is a relaxer. Cool. Well, thanks for rolling with me on that part of the journey. Now, let's take it to another level with just a quick little yogurt recipe here. And I've got the Life Biotic here, which is the culturizing medium. I'm gonna make a coconut walnut yogurt for you here real quick. Let me put this juice back in the fridge. Then I'll be, I gotta grab this other stuff here, which is coconut meat, coconut water, walnuts, and then I'll put this in there, and then we can wrap this baby up. Cool, so check this out. Man, this was really hit the spot. Okay, fresh. It's good enough, clean. Okay, so check this out. I just cleaned some coconuts. 2 coconuts. You would use the young Thai coconuts. But this is just a great way to culturize and then get all those probiotics and pre-digest a lot of the fats, which I really believe in fats. I think people, they make fat the bad person, but it's all the crappy fats that are oxidized and burnt and cooked to death that are the problem. But like raw healthy fats, no problem. So that's the That's the coconut meat. And then that is the walnuts, super fresh walnuts. I can't tell you where, actually my friend gets them. But maybe I'll make a video about that later if there's questions about where do you get the walnuts that are actually like whole. You know, you can see it better with the backdrop. Like this company, and you can taste it. Walnuts, omega-3s, shaped like a brain. Can you dig it? And when you soak and culturize, you just digest, everything digests so much better. I'm going to show you the ultimate too. That might have been too much, but we'll see in a minute. I'm going to go with the, and I just put it all away too. Of course, I wrapped it all up real nice. But this is the ultimate when you add the life essentials. And you can do coconut yogurt. I'll give you, you've probably seen that before. This one is getting really nice and ripe in the back. Just coconut yogurt, coconut almond yogurt, coconut pecan yogurt, coconut Brazil nut yogurt. That is for the powerhouse, dude. That'd be like for the young bodybuilder guys and stuff. A couple tablespoons of this. Couple tablespoons of this, of the that's the life essentials. This is Pure Natural. I mean, this is power food, vegan power food, man. Okay, let's see what happens here. And now, don't forget the life biotic, which, you know, when you put just billions, then it turns into trillions, because the minute the liquid hits it and it starts proliferating and it comes back to life, it just starts to double, triple, quadruple, and it starts to kind of pre-digest everything for you. So that, like, but that's how you can get the nuts and the fats to absorb as readily as fruit. Then you can get all the benefits of the nuts and seeds, which is the secret why the Danny boy, he don't need the red and the blue pill. Can you dig it? Because I got the Brazil nuts and the pumpkin seeds and the almonds, soaked, sprouted, culturized. I got the walnuts for the brain. And so I don't need to have no little pills because when you're just a fruitarian, you're only getting the feminine qualities of the food. And you're not getting the masculine qualities of the food, which is the seeds and the nuts. Ding, 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 we have a winner, Dan McDonald, again. He's a genius. Can't say that kind of stuff, but you obviously know I'm joking. I've actually considered myself to be, you know, mediocre, but thank God, just perfect enough. Accept yourself the way you are. Okay, you're gonna need a little bit more liquid, obviously. Don't go too much, and then we'll get this done, and then we'll be right on time. Perfect. Now, let's see if we got it dialed in. I should make some smaller jars. Yeah, that way I can give some to my roommate. We both have our own little shelves. I try to take care of her. She's doing me a huge favor, letting me chill here. But then again, I'm telling you, man, she's starting to realize, like, if you have your own life regenerator, you're stoked because you're losing weight, you're feeling better, you're staying 100% raw, you know. So it's a good vibe, you know. Like a live-in life regenerator, not too bad. Yogurt, coconuts, me going all over the place, getting the limes out of the trees and the, you know, all the lemons and stuff, and just like bringing all that back. So yeah, we each get our own little jar. And man, what I'm saying with this is that it culturizes and it just gets better and better. But you can do fruit, blueberries and bananas, strawberries. You could throw blueberries, bananas in there. In fact, you could take the rest of this. That's 2 jars right there. I could take the rest of this and make a smoothie out of it, but I'm gonna be packed. I'm not even gonna do that because then I'll be tempted to drink it, and I don't even want to do it. So let me wrap these up here, and then we'll call it a video. Okay, that's it. So that's just the culturization. It's ready to go right now, you know. But if you let it culture for a little while, it's just gonna get better and better and better, and you can make dressings out of that. If you just, I'm telling you, if you took this right here and you put a clove of garlic, some lemon, some sea salt, bam. But the sky's the limit. You could do a curry with like ginger, turmeric, black pepper, a little spicy pepper, garlic, and sea salt, bam. You know, then you just pour that over whatever you want. Dip your vegetables in it. Cultured, living, raw, live food, you know. And that was the protocol. That video I'm happy with, you know. Only because I set the premise of, hey, I'm gonna be a long-winded son of a gun and I'm just gonna be myself. And then all the pressure of like, you gotta cram 30 plus years of experience into like a 15-minute thing. It just, I don't know. It's just not that easy for me to do. I suppose I could have learned how to do it a long time ago, but I like my style. I'm just more of a real person. My clients are more like friends. I don't have to be the stiff guy, you know, or I don't have to pretend, and I don't have to be fake and highly curated, and I don't have to get Botox and filter everything and edit everything. I can just be a real human being. This stuff is not that hard. You just have to develop the daily habits, and you never give up. And you have to find some reason within yourself to honor God by becoming the best, brightest, healthiest, happiest, most balanced human being that you can be, you know? And that's what gift that you give to the world. And your legacy in that sense lasts forever. The buildings and the books, it'll all be gone, but your light, the light that you create and bring, and the seeds that you plant in the, you know, infinite field will always be there. You're widening a track for someone in your family or a friend or someone else in the world. When you embark upon self-improvement in one way or another, you're widening the path. You're a pioneer. We're making the trail easier for others to follow, you know? And there's a million ways to live your human life, and there's 1,000 different dietary niche programs, and everyone is going to tell you mine is the one right way, and my way is the one human, our species specific diet. And it's ridiculous because our species specific diet is whatever the hell you can get your hands on to survive another season. That's our species specific diet. It's multiple and varied. And I'm just grateful that I can have this little philosophy, and I can, well, I was going to say go to the grocery store, but you know, I don't have to go to the grocery store that often because I go to the farmer's market, which I did today. I got cucumbers and papayas, and I go get like half my food for free off of trees that I planted or coconut trees that other people planted. And so I'm very blessed. But if I was where you are, I would have apples, I would have peaches, I would have plums, I would have greens. I would be stoked because wherever I go, I find good food. And all you need is 2 or 3 sorts of thing with a focus on hydration. That's why I love the coconuts. I love the apples. I love the carrots. I love the grapes. the cucumbers, the watermelons. I love the hydration aspect of it, you know? And then you just enjoy your life and you do what you think is right according to the beliefs that you have. And you don't need to tell anyone else how to live, and you don't think that your diet makes you superior. I mean, because like some people think their diet makes them better than other people, more spiritual. And obviously that diet isn't working, because if you're really a spiritual person, you're like, oh, everything is just the one. Everything is God. You know, so if you're like, my diet makes me more spiritual than you, then it's not really working. It's actually failing, because spirituality is an awareness that everything is the unified oneness, and everything is equally divine in the one eye of the one holy true God, you know? And so you're right in the middle of it all. You're like, so, to some people you're reaching down and pulling them up. Other people you're, reaching up to them and asking for help because they're a mechanic. My mechanic came and that I should have been, the battery was dead. And it was just, the only reason I had a brain fart was because it was a brand new battery, but the battery leaked at the store and it just drained out, and I brought it home, and then I thought I had all these electrical problems and stuff. And the guy just checked my battery, gave it a jump start, and my truck fired right up. So all the stuff my dad forced me to learn all those years ago, I couldn't even figure that out because things are so complicated nowadays. I just assumed that the battery from the auto parts store would be fully charged. So anyways, thank God for the mechanic. Gave him a huge tip, but he could help me with my car and I could help him with his health. And so we all are here to help each other, you know what I'm saying? So we do what we do. This is what I do. I love food. I don't even like to eat that much. Food is the problem. Eating is the problem. It's like, it's interesting, right? Like you would never really even think that, but when you stop eating, which I never even got to talk about fasting in this one, but that's where all the problems go away when you fast. So, and all the problems occur when you eat. So then you think, wait a minute, what are we? We're frickin' breatharians that have we're like breatharians that have for millions and millions and millions of years accustomed our nervous system, digestive apparatus, and microbiology. So we're like strung out, and when we go to like fast, it's like a heroin junkie coming off of food, and then there's the fast food level with all the chemicals, and you're trying to step your way back to just maybe being addicted to like watermelon juice, so you can minimize, the sludge and the blah. So you're trying to clear away as much of everything as you can, because at the core, at the center, is the treasure that you seek. Everyone is seeking themselves and must one day come to it. But we're all seeking in different ways. For some people, it's money, and if I just had another million, and he thinks, and for a minute when he makes that million, he feels good. But then it goes away, and now he needs another million. And we're all just seeking that fulfillment and that wholeness. And it's only going to come from what I call God, just because that's the way I was raised. And I never got that anthropomorphic God looking down at me. He's pissed because, I'm doing things that feel good, So I have this, it's just a lightless light of all that is, and it's pristine perfection, and it's eternal equanimity and balance and wholeness, and it's totally complete in and of itself. And we are that. And so this is a whole little trip of like, hey, you can lose the weight and get more energy because of these practical, pragmatic, tips on a guy that needed to get more energy for himself and needed to feel better, and it's just like it's one trip. You can learn something from all this, and then take what you can, take what you want, and leave all the rest. And if you ever do find yourself in a position where you need to do the paradigm cleanse for a week or 2 or 10 and learn some stuff to wash out the acids because your doctor just diagnosed you with a disease, and you're like, I don't really want to take 17 different prescription drugs and get all cut up and burned up and irradiated, and you're telling me I won't even live for 2 or 3 years. I'd rather go buy a sack of weed and be stoned all the time and not on all your drugs and in your stupid machines. And then what you'll do is you'll be smoking the weed, you'll still have the cancer, you'll be like 8 years later, still be alive. I mean, you'll be stoned out of your mind, but you're like, I'm just chilling. I just went the weed route, the cannabis route. And now I don't have all those drugs and all those side effects. I mean, I'm a little bit stony and I eat too many chips, but I'm still alive, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll just usher your ass out, and the DTM way will usher the life back into you. What do you think's gonna work? To cultivate the good or attack the bad? Ding, 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 we have a winner because Dan McDonald's a freaking genius. That's the name of this title, I'm a genius. But anyways, it's basic common sense kind of, it's like be pro-peace and not anti-war. Hello, you can dig it, I can dig it, we can dig it. I finally had a video that I like. I make hella videos and they're all outtakes because I'm politically incorrect, and I put them all up to the Elite Video Club. Call me for a consult. Just check my email down below, send me an email, we'll talk. God bless you. Thanks for the thumbs up in the comment to help me in the algorithms. And stay until the very end. God bless you.